Hello everyone, it's Puckett the Bucket. Haha. This is part one out of however long I make this, where I explain my AUs because I'm out of the Dream SMP fandom. Your SMP gave me trauma, and I don't ever want to touch it again. I'm starting off with the reversal because, unlike some of my other AUs, I genuinely don't think I'm ever going to touch anything about it ever again. Yeah, so the reversal is actually based off of my own story, also called the reversal. And I really just created it as a chance to flesh out like that universe because I was in the process of rewriting it. So it's just like, okay, don't worry. This is not going to spoil anything for my actual story. It's supposed to be a webcomic, so whenever that comes out, you don't have to worry about getting spoils because everything in that universe is like, it's set in the universe, but I made it so I can explore the dynamics of how like the cult could work or whatever. So like none of the characters are like the same. It's not like I just put my lore onto like Dream SMP characters. That's not what happened. So like there's not really spoilers for anything, and the stuff that like the fundamental parts that you use that is spoilers, I'm just not gonna go over, so you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, basically Phil, it was minding his own business, and then his wife was like murdered in this demon attack on his village, and absolutely distraught. He was so angry. He was out for revenge. Then Dream came down and was just like, hey, did you know all demons are evil and deserve to die? Let's purge the world of evilness because your wife just died, and I know, and I'll give you like godlike powers or whatever if you like join me. So like yeah, Phil ends up starting this cult. Well, he doesn't think it's a cult, but he's like this, and they're like on this holy mission by this god Dream, the one true god that's important, to purge the world, right? So Phil's been doing that for like a few, I'm not really sure because I never talked about it, if it's like 100 years or like just like 40 or something, I don't know. But he basically, he establishes a cult. He's basically like the cult leader, right? He's like Dream's right hand man on the ground. Dream's like constantly talking to him, and they're both like, let's purge the world of evil, which they're not actually doing, but I'll get into that later. Phil at some point picks up techno. There's actually lore behind like how he picks up techno or whatever, but I forgot it. There's one person who knows that, so if you're watching this video, sound off in the comments what you know, because like dead ass I forgot what was happening. But yeah, he picks up techno. Fast forward, Wilbur is minding his own business and with his like family in like a village, and Phil is doing one of his crusades when he basically goes and like murders a bunch of people under like, it's kind of like the Salem witch trials and like stuff like that, but like nobody really did anything bad, but he's just like, oh my god, I'm killing witches and like demons and stuff like that. So he basically burns down Wilbur's entire village. Then he finds Wilbur like trapped under debris and stuff and scared because he literally just saw them like murdering his whole family and stuff. And then Phil's just like, dang, I should take this kid in. So he takes the kid in, but like with this very specific purpose. Like Wilbur is like supposed to become Dream's vessel, you know? I actually have a blurb about it that I wrote. I'll put it in the comments or the description because I did actually write a blurb that probably, I don't know, goes into that better. But yeah, he's supposed to become Dream's thing, but the ceremony that's supposed to happen for that is supposed to happen when he's 17. Keep that in mind. Anyway, Wilbur is like being raised in this cult, right? And a very important part of this cult is that they believe like light and whiteness and stuff like that to be like very holy and important. So because of that, there's like sacrilegious to be like awake during the daytime, so like they function under the cover of night, and that's why they wear so much like black and stuff like that, because it's just like, we're not worthy of that, right? Because like kind of spoilers, this is not really spoilers, the whole reversal is just like Dream is like God and all his angels or stuff, they're like supposed to be really good, but in reality they're really evil. And I think you can already see the dichotomy of that with them killing demons who aren't really evil. But in this universe, it's just like neither of them are like inherently good. It's just like Dream is like that's not important. if you, yeah, anyway, so Wilbur eventually, because like he misses being awake in the daytime like a normal person, he starts sneaking out, and then he meets Shalat, right? Yay! But Shalat's a demon. I kind of hinted at that really heavily like a bunch of times, but like the closest people got was just like, I don't know, like nobody ever picked up on that. He's a demon. He's not just an animal, guys. He's explicit. He's a demon. He's a demon child, but like he's just minding his own business because he's literally a child and doing nothing wrong. And him and Wilbur end up bonding and become best friends. So Wilbur starts like sneaking out all the time to see him, but like Phil is just like notices because he's like, hey, Wilbur's like extremely sleepy in the nighttime. He has these eye bags, and he's also getting tanner, which is strange because he should be getting paler because he should not be in the sun. So then he asks Techno to like track Wilbur down, right? And then Techno sees that he's hanging out with Shalat, and then so Phil is just like, oh my god, I can't believe you're like hanging out with like evil. He's been corrupting your mind. And then he gets Techno to kill Shalat right in front of Wilbur. Yay. And then they commence with the ritual, which was supposed to happen when Wilbur turns 17, but currently he's 7, so it happens like 10 years early. And they commence with it, and there's this door that he gets thrown into, and it's a door, but not really, because it's like a door, but like behind it's like a connection to like the plane of existence Dream is on. But like, so it's not really like a functional room or anything, but they shove him in there. Dream basically possesses him, and now Dream can take control over his body and like speak through him and see through him whenever he needs. I think I showed that one video where we're being possessed. So like, yeah, fast forward 10 years in the current like setting where most of the videos I was showing, Wilbur is 17, Tommy is 7. They didn't pick Tommy up when he was 7. They picked him up a few years before that. It's like that's also why Tommy's a bit more tanner, because he hasn't been like kept in like for that long, if you know what I mean. He's not been in the cult for that long. But whatever. Tommy size. Oh, also the reason why Phil is also more tanner is because unlike the others, he's like special, whatever, quote unquote, but like he's like always going out for missions and like burning places down and stuff like that. And he's like working with Dream, and he can do that because he's like Dream's right hand man, and nobody else, because he's special, you know, cult stuff. And also like the other people, they normally like attack people in night, but like I said, Phil just like goes out because he's like special, whatever. Who cares? That's whatever. Yeah, because like sorry, I'm out of breath. Techno is also like tan because he's just like a POC in that AU or whatever. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, so Tommy's like obviously still having a hard time adjusting. He doesn't like all the praying. He thinks it's stupid and weird. He thinks Phil is weird, and he's not having a really good time. And Wilbur is like constantly trying to get him not to act up, because he's just like, hey, horrible stuff is going to happen to you if you keep acting up, and I'm trying to protect you. But he's not really communicating that well. And then Tommy just ends up disliking Wilbur a little bit, like not like I hate you, but he's like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Anyway, Wilbur catches wind that Phil is planning to do the same thing he did to Wilbur and like basically kickstart the ritual and have that happen to him while Tommy is still 7. And then Wilbur's just like, ain't no way. So Wilbur cuts a piece off of his hair off, and he yeah, so Wilbur cuts off a piece of his hair, and he performs a protective spell on it. He ties it around Tommy's wrist, and like he does like witchcraft, but like I said, witchcraft in that universe isn't like bad. You know what I mean? It's not inherently bad, but yeah. So he does this protective spell. He ties it around Tommy's wrist right before he shoves him into the room, and then Tommy's obviously confused. But while Tommy's like in that Dream, wherever Dream is, like that other plane, Dream is like confused because he literally cannot get into Tommy's body. So there's like this really epic chase scene, and then Tommy ends up running out and getting past the door, and then he's so grateful because he's just like, whatever Will gave me has saved me. So he runs to Will's like chambers, right? Wilbur's dead. He committed suicide. the reason for that is, one, it was partially just because he was like really tired and really done and upset, but the main reason is like he knew that like if he was still alive, then like Dream just after, because Dream's all his focus was like on Tommy, so he wasn't really paying attention to Wilbur at that time. He just like, he knew Dream would immediately come back and like search through his brain and his memories and try to figure out what happened, and then Phil will also probably do that too, and then once they figured out what happened, they would immediately go and like just possess Tommy again, and then they would both probably get punished really bad. But so he knew if he died, then that information would die with him, and then they would think that Tommy's just like unable like naturally to be possessed or something like that. So he was just like so yeah, he offs himself. Tommy has a breakdown about it. Then this is never showed, but like Tubbo was like in the background talking to his own demon best friend, which was Rambo, and then the three of them would end up running away together, and that was the end of the AU. Clearing up some questions. I'll also answer comments about like anything specific, but I know a lot of people were pointing out the bandages Wilbur always had. Part of that was self-harm, part of it was because he was like the sacrificial lamb for the whole cult, so like any rituals they would literally like take his blood and stuff like that. I think I kind of showed that in one of the most recent video I made about the AU, but I'm not sure. I think kind of Sunday from Honkai Star Rail, but I did have that plot before I got into what do you call it, Honkai, and also that AU existed before Pinaconi. But yeah, that was basically the whole thing. Sorry, I'm like really out of breath, but yeah, that's what happened. The AU is so silly, so silly. The next one I'll probably talk about is IDK, actually. Oh, it probably yeah, the next one I'll probably talk about is High School Runaways AU / How to Survive Senior Year, because that's also an AU I'm just plain most likely not going to finish or touch. Yeah. Have a great day, loves. Bye.
You may have seen the fuck it, but you've never seen the fuck it.